Hello guys and welcome to this video. Many people don't know that the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland are two entirely different jurisdictions. In 1969, violence erupted in Northern Ireland and the Troubles began, lasting until 1998. But what has changed since then and why? The answer to that question involves four steps or four separate agreements, each with their own name. Several factors in the 1960s led to friction between nationalists and unionists. These factors included the increase in third-level education, the rise of the civil rights movement, and the impact of television. In 1969, the British Army was deployed to the streets of Northern Ireland. In 1972, the worst year of the Troubles, almost 500 people died, 13 of those on Bloody Sunday. Amidst this increase in bloodshed and violence, four separate agreements were hammered out between the politicians of Great Britain, the Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland. Let's take a look. The Sunningdale Agreement 1973 was the first agreement. It involved the British Prime Minister Ted Heath and the Irish Taoiseach Liam Cosgrave. With all four of these agreements, I've invented a little highlight that will help you to remember them. Sunningdale can be described as a sunny or visionary agreement. What it tried to establish didn't really work out, at least until a lot later. Its main ideas were power sharing, that peaceful nationalists and unionists would share power by being in government together, and secondly, the Council of Ireland, which really meant that politicians from all across Ireland, north and south, would come together and share ideas. Again, Sunningdale was a visionary agreement which didn't really work out. The executive collapsed after about 6 months, but it was a starting point. Now to the Anglo-Irish Agreement 1985. While Bloody Sunday came before Sunningdale, it was another event that started the 1980s. On the 1st of March 1981, Bobby Sands, a Republican prisoner, went on hunger strike in the Northern Ireland Maze prison because of prison conditions. The British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, also known as the Iron Lady, refused to give in. However, 66 days later, on the 5th of May 1981, Bobby Sands died. Over the next 3 months, 9 further hunger strikers would die. 3 years later, in 1984, Margaret Thatcher herself almost died when an IRA bomb killed 5 people at the Conservative Party conference in the Brighton Hotel in England. These terrible events led to Margaret Thatcher and the Irish Taoiseach Garret FitzGerald forming another agreement. The key to the 1985 Anglo-Irish Agreement is in the name, Irish. For the first time, the Irish Republic had a role in the affairs of Northern Ireland. This sparked outrage among many unionists, particularly Ian Paisley, who 15 years earlier had formed the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party. Addressing a huge rally in Belfast in Northern Ireland, Paisley had this to say.
I want to ask a question today. And the question is simple. Where do the terrorists operate from? From the Irish Republic. That's where they come from. Where do the terrorists return to for sanctuary? To the Irish Republic. And yet Mrs. Thatcher tells us that Republic must have some say in our province. We say never, never.
For its part, however, the Irish government pledged to step up security at the border and stop the IRA escaping back into the Republic. The Downing Street Agreement in 1993 was a new agreement between a new set of Prime Ministers, the UK's John Major and the Irish Taoiseach Albert Reynolds. Downing Street is well known as the location of the famous house where the UK Prime Minister operates. The violence was continuing at this time, and in 1991 the IRA attempted to kill John Major by launching a mortar attack on 10 Downing Street. The attack failed and the mortar hit the back garden instead. The Downing Street Agreement, however, came in 1993. The best way to think about the Downing Street Agreement is to consider it as a type of house or framework for the peace process. The peace process is the term used to describe the gradual ending of violence in Northern Ireland. So far, which agreement do you think is most important and why? Let me know in the comments section below. New Prime Ministers means new agreements. It was no surprise therefore that in the late 1990s, when a new British Prime Minister, Tony Blair, and a new Irish Taoiseach, Bertie Ahern, came to power, a new agreement would be formed. This agreement is perhaps the best known of the four agreements and is called the Good Friday Agreement. Now, Good Friday in the Christian calendar is a significant day. This is perhaps the best way to think of the Good Friday Agreement. It led to a significant change in the relationship between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Historians say that the Good Friday negotiations were the most important since the first Anglo-Irish Treaty in 1922. Indeed, the British Prime Minister Tony Blair claimed that he could, quote, feel the hand of history on his shoulder. So what was the deal? Northern Ireland, for its part, agreed to share power in an assembly, similar to the Sunningdale idea. The Republic of Ireland, on the other hand, agreed to change its constitution so that it no longer claimed ownership of the whole island of Ireland. Many unionists in Northern Ireland, however, expressed strong criticism of the Good Friday Agreement because it allowed early release of paramilitary prisoners and, secondly, it allowed Sinn Féin to hold political office despite ongoing IRA activity. This strong scepticism among unionists would allow Ian Paisley's DUP to become the biggest political party in Northern Ireland within just 5 years. So, in just 30 years, Northern Ireland saw no less than 4 major agreements, all of them significant in their own right. The 1973 Sunningdale Agreement was a sunny or visionary agreement of the way things might have been. The 1985 Anglo-Irish Agreement gave the Irish Republic a role in the affairs of Northern Ireland for the first time and outraged unionists who felt betrayed by Thatcher. The 1993 Downing Street Agreement gave a framework or warm house that allowed the peace process to get started. Finally, the 1998 Good Friday Agreement would deliver a far-reaching change in the relationship between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Its consequences are still being debated and discussed today. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.